we're back. Like I say, we've only got one more game, well, game to half cover, and that was the opening game for the weekend on Freitag, which was Wolfsburg hosting Leipzig. We did touch on it up front, but that was me trying to make a point about how watching a live game and having a phone and like a score app on your phone can just kill the excitement. Catches me out a lot at home, like I say, and we've got pretty fast broadband here in Hull in the north of England, and yet Friday night, Wolfsburg Leipzig, that caught me out because actually a triple whammy, because it was live score, Bundesliga app telling me, yeah, there's been a goal. I was like, oh, what? And then the goal goes in. You're like, yeah, note to self, turn those apps off. So again, we've sort of covered it slightly, but let's see it out. So I'll jump back up. Fixtures and results. Friday evening, 5-goal thriller. Here's the lineups just quickly. It's another 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2, depending on how you want to distinguish between that defensive line and the midfield. Versus Leipzig in a 4-2. Oh, interesting, a 4-2-4, yeah, because they've got Simmons and Riddle Baku, which does sound like the plot line of an espionage movie set in the Middle East. It's an L. Ron Hubbard novel, isn't it? Riddle Baku. 4-2-4 with Louis Openda and Benjamin Sesko, who hasn't scored a single goal with his head all season. Peter Glassie in goal, 13 clean sheets so far this season. He had a howler at home to Hoffenheim in match day 28 when he literally just threw the ball straight out to Torre, who found the golden boy Tom Bischoff, who scored from 30 yards out. So Lakibi, who they bought a couple of years ago for like 20 odd million euro. Bishibashu. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, Bishibu. Yeah, Lakiba, Bishibu, Kloisterman, Nedjekovic, who's on loan from Aston Villa, Arthur Vermeeren and Nicholas Seawald as the double pivot, Javi Simons, Riddle Baku, Openda, Sesko. There's your Leipzig team. And for Wolfsburg, it's Grabara, who's sporting that Phantom of the Opera mask. Do you know, and again, as a former goalkeeper, you get injured. Who's commented that? Benjamin Sesko. Oh, clap that in. That is brilliant. If I had some emotes and some sounds, I would acknowledge that one. I love that. Yeah, Benjamin Sesko. Brilliant. I mean, Arsenal want him, right? Gonzo keeps telling me that Arsenal are putting... Mind you, they're always putting bids in for people and never following through, right? Anyway, yeah, I love that. Benjamin Sesko. Right, so yeah, Grabara, Phantom of the Opera. The goal that Hollerbach scored for Union Berlin last time out, whatever happened to him in terms of an injury has really knocked his confidence. He doesn't seem to be the same keeper as he was because, yeah, he doesn't seem to commit as much. Mind you, look at Peter Cech, right? And that's probably an interesting piece of data analysis to do. What was his performance like pre and post at both Chelsea and Arsenal after he wore that boxing headgear, right? Because it affects your confidence when you're coming for crosses, because the opposition players know when to stick a Sunday League elbow, right? A top stiff elbow in your face. So yeah, anyway, Grabara in goal, Odegu, Denis Vavro from Slovakia, Fischer on the right, so it's a back three. Gerhardt, Jacob Kaminski was our one to watch, and we said he might appear as a sub, but he started and then was subbed out. Maxi Arnold holding that midfield together. Patrick Wimmer next playing alongside Dardai as the sort of attacking two midfielders, and then that's Amore up front alongside Jonas Wind, again favourite of mine on Football Manager. If you can pick him up, he definitely scores a lot. Plays as a deep line forward, like a Danish Harry Kane. He swaps his hair around a lot as well. Very Florian Wirtz in terms of his haircut and his styling and his colour. So that's the two lineups anyway. And yeah, our prediction of a 1-0 went out the window when Javi Simon scored that second. And like I said, when the apps were pinging off, telling me and spoiling the fun. So Wolfsburg have now lost 4 in a row. That's 6. Did we say it was 6 or 5? 5 goals conceded in 4 games. Leipzig, that's 2 wins on the spin. So Zotlo's doing things to turn it around for Leipzig. They started to score. They started to score on the road, which is really positive. In fact, if I remember rightly, they hadn't won away since match day 13, which is way before the winter break. Christ, imagine that. A team of Leipzig's stature in the Champions League for 6 years in a row. All right, their Champions League campaign this year was a horror show, but they haven't won away up until that point, until match day 13. Wow, okay. So yeah, I can understand why our prediction was that Leipzig would win it 1-0, because they don't score many on the road. They don't really win many on the road, but they've got a new manager bounce. Wolfsburg are terrible at home, but are better living out of a suitcase away from home. And yeah, again, as I said at the top of the show, Wolfsburg they have got a lot of goals in them. In fact, if I remember rightly, they let's just quickly check that, because it's going to be a -2, -3 goal difference. Is that right? If we have a look for Wolfsburg at home, yes, -2, yeah. So scored 25, conceded 27. Yeah, like I say, lost 2 in a row at home, lost 4 in a row all told. Oof, that's not good, is it? So what's our friend said? Havertz 2-0. Not a fan of the Slovenian lurch. Czech wasn't the same after his head injury. Chelsea absolutely got the best of him. Yeah, totally agree. Putting them shades on. Totally agree. Yeah. Havertz 2.0. Oh, yeah, it's you, isn't it? Yes. Sorry, I think it's you, right? It's if you're from the Taftman 10 community, then you're an absolute legend anyway for following me on a Monday afternoon. But if you are the same person, like that, your dedication of playing an FM streamer's Hull City really, like, that actually did reduce me to tears of joy, because I was struggling. Yeah, my mental health was struggling. I thought it was you. Thank you so much. Yeah, what a legend you are. Yeah, honestly, that stream, and I should have given you more attention. I'm really sorry that I didn't. I've been struggling, man. In that hospital, mental health has been all over the place. I tried throwing myself into this to sort of lift myself up, literally keep myself alive. And actually, being part of that community with the Taft man and people like you, yeah, have kept me going over these last few months. So yeah, before I start screaming and crying with on stream, which would probably make for good content actually. Probably better than the shit that I'm raffling on about for the last 2.5 hours. Thank you so much. Yeah, I really enjoyed your lead stream as well. Again, I was watching the Bielsa ball while I was in hospital. That was keeping me going. Anyway, so where do we get to? Yeah, Wolfsburg, 4 in a row they've lost. What's the impact on the table for Leipzig? Well, they're in 4th, like I say, 48 points, 3 off Frankfurt in 3rd. It's looking good. It's looking good for Leipzig in terms of Champions League places. It wasn't under Marco Rose, and I felt sorry for him, because no one really likes to see any manager get fired. Although it was time for Tim Walter to go at Hull, but you know what I'm saying, right? Nobody likes it, and even that I felt horrible, because that guy came in as a like Sting in New York. Walter came in as an alien to the UK, had to learn a new language, a different culture, had to get used to Hull. You know, no one loves us, we don't care. We're stuck out in the fucking middle of nowhere, right? You've got to need a reason to come here, not just as an away fan, just anyone, right? You've either got a meeting, you're taking the family to the deep, or you've come to see what's left of the European City of Culture 2017, right? You need a reason to come here. So he had to come here, adapt to everything. His personality didn't fit with the players. It didn't work out. He didn't get the relationship with the players, didn't get the results on the pitch, and he had to go. Nice payoff, don't get me wrong, because Adjan likes to look after his players and his staff, but it didn't work out, did it? And that's someone from a different culture stuck in Hull. Christ, I won't wish that on anybody. Maybe my ex-wife. But she is raising the children. Anyway, back to this one. So Leipzig, yeah, in fourth. Sorry, Marco Rosa, but the signings that you made, and I've touched on this in a different video, you did bring Marcus Thuram to the Bundesliga when you were at Gladbach, and look at what a beast he's become, right? As Munich are going to find out in that second leg in the Champions League. As for Wolfsburg, well, they're down in 12th. You know, no movement. They're still on 38 points. They're safe. They don't have anything to worry about. There's no cup competitions. There's no European glory for them. Who do they play in their fixtures that are coming up? Let's have a quick look at Wolfsburg. And again, I really like Wolfsburg. You know, apart from the... Well, okay. It's the home of Volkswagen, right? It's the car manufacturing plant. And the whole place does stink of an interesting combination of plastic and rubber. And again, I suppose a bit like Hull, Wolfsburg, you need a reason to go there. And I assume you're one of many Japanese businessmen that's come over to buy cars. So anyone going to Wolfsburg is there to buy transport. They're there to buy vehicles. So I guess you're kind of used to that smell that's in the air. I wasn't. Anyway, I enjoyed myself. I made friends with 10, 11, 12 Bayern Munich fans. It was a great atmosphere in the ground. So, like I say, 5 goals on that day. There were 5 goals on Freitag. Anyway, they've got to go away to Mainz, who, like Frankfurt, are scrapping for Champions League. They've got to host Freiburg, who will be pushing for Europe. They've got to play Dortmund. Again, they'll be pushing for Champions League. They're hosting Hoffenheim. That's an academic game. And then they've got to play Gladbach. They've got to go away to Gladbach, who will also be pushing for Champions League. So, you know, but Wolfsburg are pretty damn good on the road. Does it smell better than Marmite? Yeah. I did get hung up on that in a previous video trying to explain that, you know, is it Marmite? Is it Vegemite? Either way. A bit like Mesut Ozil, and you like that, right? And now you know that we are sort of closet Arsenal fans. You can't probably see him there, so I'll have to bring it up to the camera, but yeah. He was like Marmite, wasn't he? But we liked him. And funnily enough, who did he play for? You'll know this before me, so feel free to beat me to the punchline. Was it Wolfsburg? I know Kevin De Bruyne used to play for Wolfsburg. In fact, I covered that in a previous video about the DFB Pokal. Because they beat one of Klopp's last games managing Dortmund. Wolfsburg, because Nicholas Bentner was on the bench. I remember that video now. Yes, that great quote of, well, you know, in my head, I'm the best footballer in the world. I just turn out, if I think it, I do it. Yeah, okay. Nice one, mate. Nice one. Mesut Ozil. It was Werder Bremen, wasn't it? Yeah, of course, I should have known that. Schalke, Werder, Real, Arsenal. Yeah, should have known that. Yeah, thank you. So I'm still adapting to this. Like, I should have bought a second monitor. One of my other friends was right, but I mean, this fucking monitor's 32 inches. Christ, that would make you sore, wouldn't it? You'd probably have to rub Marmite on that. Where did we get to? Yeah, so we covered up Ozil, Madrid, Schalke, Werder Bremen. Interesting money, nothing really to play for. And that's the table. So, wow. That's been fun. It's been great to have you in, put the shades on. Thank you so much. I'll put on the shades. That's brilliant. It's really made my day, that. So what I'll do is, for the VOD, I will go through the data hub and try and, with a bit more scripting, keep it a bit tighter. So in the VOD, we'll cover leading goal scorer, assist makers, clean sheets. We'll look at the table top and bottom, and we'll get out of here. We'll do it that way. So, thank you so much. And to anybody else that jumped in that didn't comment but just was along for the ride, thank you so much. Gonzo there, next to Ozil. I've been Craig. This has been the German Football Spotlight Show. We've covered off match day 29, all the goals, all the drama. Actually, I didn't really say it at the time, but yeah, the prediction for the Stuttgart-Werder Bremen game was 2-2. So we were close, right? We were really close. What's this question? Will he be doing a Bundesliga 11? Oh, obviously. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, Yeah, of course it will. Yeah. So again, there's 5 games to go in the rest of the season. The DFB Pokal final is the 24th. The Champions League final is the 31st. For no other reason than to wish Thomas Muller and just see the best of him. I mean, that's another... We could go down the rabbit hole on that one, right? How's he been treated? If you look at the Bayern View, if you follow Liam and Steve on their channel, if you follow Danny from Always Bayern and Chelsea, he's in Milwaukee. I love it, man. Love Americans that love football. That's brilliant. And he's really captivated. He's very passionate about Bayern Munich. For those 3 people and for Thomas Muller, I'd love to see them in the final. I really would. Unlike Keegan, they don't have to go to Middlesbrough and get a result, do they? They've got to go to Inter and get a result if they're going to keep that going. So, yeah, my point is there's all those bits of content that need doing, and then we'll get round to doing that Bundesliga 11 for the season. Yeah, absolutely. There'll be a season review show, obviously, yeah. So, and actually, any other ideas that you've got for other content, please bring it forward. I mean, we did a feature video in Arminia Bielefeld because that is a fairy tale running the cup. That's only the 4th side from 3rd Liga or below to have ever made a cup final. It'll be the first team ever from outside the Bundesliga to have won the trophy if they manage to pull that off against Stuttgart. We've done videos on Frankfurt, Bremen, but it's not live yet. Somebody asked us to do a video on Fortuna Dusseldorf because I said, I've been there before, but I haven't set foot at the interchange. It's a nice interchange, slightly better than the one we've got at Hull. Probably on par with... What else has got an interchange? Donny? Yeah, Don Francisco's probably on par with that. So I was starting to do a video about Fortuna Dusseldorf. So if anyone's got any ideas, if you have, my friend, put on the shades, any ideas? Probably need to get a Discord going, but again, I'd feel embarrassed to make people come to that when there's only 2 of us rattling around in it. It's like being in a big mansion, isn't it, on a long table. Pass the salt. Doesn't seem worthwhile setting up a Discord just yet, but we have got a Twitter, X, at German Football Spotlight or at German Footy Spot, because that's the amount of characters that you've got to play with. But mostly here on YouTube, active on TikTok, making predictions and coming up with data because I'm a bit of a data nerd. I mean, this is a dream for me. Loved football as a kid, was obsessed with data and like storytelling. Even though you wouldn't tell because this stream is now 3 hours long, but do enjoy trying to pull a story out of data is what I enjoy, and being terrible at FM. And I'll start streaming some of that as well. We've got a Werder Bremen save on the go, which after 3 games in a DFB Pokal, well, technically we've drawn 1 and lost 3. That DFB Pokal game we did win on penalties because Michael Zetra was the hero and pulled off 3 saves. It was against a team from the Regionalliga, so could have been embarrassing if we'd have lost that one. But otherwise, yeah, there's your Bundesliga table. Munich at the top with 6 points over Leverkusen, who fluffed their lines. They could have closed that gap, but failed to do so. Frankfurt in 3rd, leading the line above Leipzig, Mainz, Freiburg. There's your top teams in the European spots. And at the bottom, well, Bochum are at the bottom. Not quite at rock bottom. That's Holstein Kiel. Kiel, Bochum, Heidenheim, St. Pauli. I think it's between those 4. If those respective managers are honest with each other, it feels like it's going to finish that way. Probably not in that running order. I've got a feeling it'll end up with... I personally feel it'll be Bochum will finish bottom, Kiel, Heidenheim. That's how I think it'll finish, but we don't know. 5 games to go. It's exciting. Oh, and as you've known, because we've gone through the different matchups and the fixtures that are coming. Oh, it's exciting, man. Can't wait. Because there's a lot of teams that could impose a lot of trouble and could derail Champions League dreams, European Thursday night football with Pat Nevin dreams, and relegation. Anyway, we've got that to come. Thanks for joining us. Honestly, it means so much. Thank you. Put on the shades, man. That's really made my day. It really has. Gonzo, Craig here, signing out. We're back soon. The VOD will be live later on. We are off to watch Hull City this evening. Big game at home to Frank Lampard's Coventry City. Need that win to stay in the Championship. A quick note on Scott Parker. Wow. joint top, 88 points, and he conceded 12 goals on the road, or 12 goals all season. That's incredible, man. It really is. It's a bit like St. Pauli, except one of them teams is going up and one of them's staying near the Reaper ban. Great weekend if you can afford to lose yourself. Thank you so much. Signing out now. Craig, Gonzo, gone. Cheers, put the shades on. Made my day. Catch you in the VOD. Thank you so much. Auf Wiedersehen.